Okay, so we posed the question, what's the slope of the blue segment, the segment that goes from this point that we estimated to this point, right?
Mm.
And there's some stuff to be sorted out, but you got the right idea throughout, okay? So I asked you about what it means by slope, and you said something about a formula. There is one, but forget it. You're not going to remember the formula.
Okay.
Actually, you probably are, okay? But don't count on it.
Okay.
What's the one thing you remember about slope? I said, what two words go with it? You said rise over run. That's 3 words, but that's exactly what it should be, okay?
All right.
Slope is rise divided by run. So the whole process of calculating the slope comes down to figuring out what the rise is and figuring out what the run is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a lot easier than trying to remember a stupid formula.
You're right.
Even though I wouldn't call a formula stupid. It's stupid to, in my opinion, to teach people to memorize a formula that they're not going to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
When you can teach them rise over run and then teach them how to get rise and how to get run.
Mm-hmm.
You take a problem and break it down to 2 simple ones, right?
Right.
Not that finding the slope is that bad. Once you get used to it, it's natural,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So you're not going to have any trouble with it.
Right.
But just a comment on problem solving, okay? Break the idea of finding the slope into the idea of finding the rise and finding the run. Okay, so slope is rise divided by run.
Mm.
Now we've got to figure out the rise and the run. Now, looking at all this, it's a little hard to see it.
Right.
So we come over here and we just draw a graph with just the 2 points. So we put a point about here, that's reasonable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get a point about here, out there, maybe there, right? And then we start figuring out what the coordinates of these points are, because we figured that out, right?
Right.
So since f of -2 was about 1.4, and you can see that right here, here's -2, here's where we meet that, and there's 1.4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 1.5, but I chose 1.4 because I think that's a little closer to 1 than it is to 2. If you have a different opinion, I respect it, you can do that.
Okay.
Okay? Again, as long as you don't have a ridiculous result, I'm fine with it, okay? So, and we can say, okay, right there's the 1.4, right?
Right.
Looks a little more like 1.3 now, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
Okay? And there's the 2. And then over here, and you just told me what the coordinates were. You said, well, according to what we have, that's the point 3.8, right? Okay? And here's the segment. Well, to find the slope, it helps to, in my class, I call this a fundamental triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
It's a triangle between 2 points,
Mm-hmm.
and the line segment joining those points is a hypotenuse, and one leg of the triangle is parallel to the x-axis, the other leg is parallel to the y-axis.
Okay.
Okay? So if we start here, we could go parallel to the x-axis to get one leg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we could go parallel to the y-axis.
Right.
Well, that's probably going to be easier if I label it down here, but since my labeling is usually screwed up, I'm probably making the wrong decision, but it really doesn't matter. So there's a horizontal leg and there's a vertical leg, right?
Right.
And now I've got my triangle. Okay? So my question is, well, which leg of that triangle corresponds to the run and which corresponds to the rise?
The bottom half is the response to the run.
Is the
Down is the rise.
Yeah. So there's your run, there's your rise. Now you also have to choose a direction.
Right.
Okay? So let's go from this point to this point. Usually we'll think of going from left to right,
Mm-hmm.
but it wouldn't hurt if we went from right to left. But if we go from left to right, we'll put a little arrow here and a little arrow here. Okay?
Okay.
Indicating that the run goes in this direction and the rise goes in this direction. Sometimes you'll have a point that's higher than another one, so your rise would be negative, right? So you want to have those arrows there to indicate whether you're going in the positive or negative direction. Okay?
Okay.
So go ahead and sketch that picture and put the little arrows on it, and then label the run and the rise by giving me the numbers. Okay? Just put the numbers on the two legs.